back to our channel. Today we are going to make it. The base recipe is a basic white sandwich bread, and I will link that below. And to that, I unintentionally, the first time I made it, doubled the butter, but it turned out so delicious that I have just been doubling the butter continuously and it's very good. So you do with that information what you wish. But in this loaf, I decided to make it like a breakfast loaf. So David has something quick to grab on his way to work. Unfortunately, it does not fit in the toaster, but you can do it on the stove if you have time, like a grilled cheese. I did some with this, like a grilled cheese, but I put Nutella in it. It would also be good with peanut butter and jelly inside. And then I have also used it as the bread in a French toast casserole. So this is just the base. Like I said, the base recipe is a white sandwich bread, and then to that I just added some cinnamon, a lot of cinnamon. I didn't measure. So thank you for watching.
Okay, but anyways, so for each loaf, this is how I've been buying the yeast packets. It's a 3-pack. I got it from Aldi. This is 75 cents. For each loaf, you need one. So I put one of these in each bread maker. So definitely make sure it's activated before you use it. And the recipe says that it needs to be to 110, about 110 degrees. So here's the recipe. Again, I'll link it below. So we need 1/4 cup of milk. Alright, hold on.
Something that I have learned with baking bread is that you absolutely have to read the directions, which is one reason that I don't bake. But reading and making sure that the yeast was activated was very important.
So I forgot to push the button when I mixed in the packet of yeast, but this is the yeast. I had it way too hot, so I had to let it cool. I mixed in the sugar and then I let it cool, and then I added this, and then that's what it looks like now. I'll show you what it's going to look like after it's activated, and then I'll show you a picture of, there's a picture of what it's supposed to look like on the recipe that I will link below. So it hasn't even been 10 minutes, and I see yesterday that I totally activated the yeast wrong. Sorry, Ashley, it's right. I activated the yeast wrong. I did not I don't know if I had it too hot, or I did have it too hot, and I didn't care. But apparently that matters. So this is what it looks like now, and it looks exactly like that lady's picture on the recipe. Oh, I'm so terrible at this. Okay, getting better though. So that's it. So now we will start to add everything else to the. We're gonna do this one in the Cuisinart one, and then I am gonna do it again in that one. But so let's see.
Something that has been extremely helpful with bread making is mixing the dough in the bread machines. I had tried mixing dough by hand before when we were into sourdough, and then I used my mom's stand mixer one time, and it was just a literal game changer, the difference in the texture of bread between me trying to hand knead it and my mom's stand mixer. And so I really quit making bread because my kids wouldn't eat it. It was good as a grilled cheese, and that was pretty much it. But it wasn't this fluffy sandwich bread that they're accustomed to. So that was one reason why I quit making bread. But we've kind of been easing them into homemade bread with the yeast packets. And the recipe that I use is called a white sandwich bread. And then in this variation, I added cinnamon to it, and it turns out amazing. I did have one loaf that I had done after this, and I think it was before this actually, and it didn't rise correctly, and because I didn't read the directions on how to activate yeast. Anyways, I turned that into a French toast casserole, and that was really good. But these would be amazing French toast. It tastes like an expensive, breakfast bread. If I would have had raisins, I would have probably put raisins in it. But this was a really great breakfast bread. All my kids liked it.
And so I had luck yesterday doing, I just mixed the dough. I just mixed the dough in here and baked it in the oven. So it's not super hot today, so that's what I'm going to do. here's the, let's see if you can see this. So number 10 right here, it's a little rusty, says dough and pizza. So I'm going to hit menu all the way to number 10. And I'm going to put no mix-ins. And then I'm going to hit start. And we're going to make sure that it's actually mixing because yesterday, yep. And then it just mixes everything. And I'll periodically show you what it's doing.
So if you're interested in making, excuse me, homemade bread in a stand mixer, just isn't in your budget, just like it's not in ours, I have seen bread machines at thrift stores. You are usually more than welcome to plug things in if you ask and to make sure that they work. So this would be a great option if you're wanting to make bread on a budget.
Check on your bread. Does it smell good? Are you going to eat that bread? Is it going to be yummy? Yeah. Oh, yeah? And now it's doing its first rise, and then I will take it out and roll it out on the table, and then roll it up like the, I'll show you, but it's also listed in the recipe. And then you roll it up, and I'm going to put it in a glass bread pan, loaf pan, whatever you want to call it, and then I'll bake it in the oven. I have another one going here, too. Because we are a 2-loaf family.
Again, the bread has such a different texture when it's mixed in the bread machine or a stand mixer versus mixing it by hand. Like I said, I had tried that and it just didn't work. So if you are interested, I would definitely try to find a stand mixer, or not a stand mixer, excuse me. Yeah, if you could find one of those at a thrift store, that'd be great. But a bread machine, like I said, I was given these bread machines. One was my grandma's, and then the other one my aunt gave to us, which is super helpful because we are a large family, and so I do make 2 loaves at a time. Or if we have pizza and I use it for pizza dough, which I'll make a video about that one of these days, I make 4 pizzas at a time. So we do have leftovers. Leftover pizza is a favorite here.
Alright, so now I have them both in the pan, and I'm just going to cover them up and let them sit for about an hour. It pains me to say this, and this is why I don't bake very often. This is what I don't like about baking, is that you actually have to read the directions. Because once I read the directions on how to do the yeast, and then I read directions on how milk does this to bread, and water does this to bread, I realized what I was doing wrong. So, unfortunately, baking is not like a casserole or a stir fry, and you actually have to read the directions. So, to live and learn, reading the directions is kind of important.
At this point in the day, we were getting a little bit cranky, and it was nap time. So, there are the loaves. They were absolutely perfect. This is after their second rise, and they were getting ready to go in the oven.
All right, back up, Ashley. I got one more to get out. Look at that. Ah. All right. Let's see. All right, I baked those at 350 for about 50 minutes. And they look perfect. So now I'm going to let them cool a little bit. I have to get the kids from school. And then we'll try one. Y'all, I forgot to spray my pants. I thought I was doing good. I was going to make a YouTube short and some bread and a video. And I forgot to spray them. And they're so pretty. They're perfect. And I forgot to spray the pan. All right. Oh, you're ripping papers? I just don't think I'm supposed to be a bread maker, guys. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Hang on, hang on. I just think the universe is just like, just buy the bread, Amanda. Quit trying to make it. Because if I'm screwing it up one way, I'm screwing it up another. Ho, 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 ho. So spray your hands, people. Spray your hands. But man, she's pretty. All right, let's see if I can. I have done it. Oh, I better leave that over there because I haven't done it today. Is there spiders over there?
Yeah.
Let's try Bertha. Actually, I think that one looks good. There's enough butter in these. I accidentally doubled the butter, so no wonder they're good. Oh, baby. Not too bad.
Something that I have learned since recording this video is that you are supposed to let bread rest and let the steam that's inside, like, cook them, continue cooking. I don't know exactly its purpose, but I know that it's very important, so don't cut it as soon as it's out of the oven like I did, because apparently that is a big no-no. Now, for me, I haven't had any problems, because we all just want to eat it as soon as it's done, but I'm going to try it waiting a couple hours.
So, things I've learned making bread.